What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lender Lounge. It's been a little bit. I was planning a wedding, and I had no idea how much time that takes to to plan a wedding. My son got married, and so I took some time away. But I've got some really cool stuff I want to go over today. What I want to talk about is kind of the state, give a bird's eye view of where we're at right now financially in the financial markets. And I want to talk about what we're seeing in the headlines and then talk about solutions for you as a consumer if you're tapped out, because we are starting to see the consumer be bottlenecked and really don't have many options of where to go to offset this inflation and the debt that we are accruing. So the Fed, they're talking about maybe raising one more time this year, and then they're going to pause. So higher for longer, quote unquote, is what we heard Jerome Powell say. And so this isn't going anywhere fast. So we're going to be here for a little bit. And so what I want to do is explain what we're seeing, what the data is pointing to, and then I'm going to go over some of these headlines. So right now, the things that we're seeing in the market, the financial market, is one, we got the Fed rate. They did 11 hikes last year. We have the inertia of that, all that coming forward. That's going to hit next year. And we were seeing a bottleneck in credit. We're seeing things just in the commercial real estate world. So I'm going to go through some of these headlines, and what I want to show you is that the American consumer, we are being squeezed, and we're starting to see a bottleneck in credit and just how we live daily. So the first headline, it says total household debt reaches $17 trillion, and this was at the end of Q2. And so credit card balances, they account for $4.6 trillion. Mortgage debt is about $12 trillion. And then auto loan balances rose, and we're sitting at about $1.5, almost $1.6 trillion in that debt collectively. So that's where we come up with the $17 trillion. The next headline, Americans' credit card debt hits a record $1 trillion. So people are using their credit cards to compensate the deficit that inflation has caused just on your net income on your W-2 or whatever. Next one, bankruptcy filings rise 10% year over year from last year to now. So in that's also commercial and residential that we're seeing. So what are you going to do? What are people doing, right? Rejection rate for credit applicants hits highest level since 2018. So we have people that they're tapped out. They used all their credit cards. They have no means of movement or kind of relief. So they're going to apply for other credit, and they're not getting it. Okay. And this one here. So this is cool. This is part of the solution I want to talk about. So Americans hold almost $30 trillion in tappable home equity. If you're in this position right now where you're feeling squeezed and you're like, what do I do? And you own a home. If you purchased a home in the last couple of years, you have equity, and we should be looking at that. So what happens is you're going to gain equity, and you might have a 3% interest rate or a low interest rate that you're proud of, and you don't want to get rid of that. I totally get that. But if you're in a position right now where you are maxed out on your credit cards, you're trying to find other ways to get access to money because you're not making budget right now, we have ways to handle this. One thing that is huge and is going to help is accessing that equity, opening that equity, whether it's a home equity line of credit or if you just do a debt consolidation refinance. We want to look at the interest rates. We want to see what your goals are and where you're positioned at to see which one makes sense for you. So let's say you've got a couple $100,000 in equity. And the average equity right now for the homeowners are anywhere between $275,000 to $300,000 right now, depending on what market you're in. So that's a lot of equity. Now, you want to look at this before you get in a situation where you don't credit qualify, because things are getting tight and your credit score is going to go down, but you're going to be in a position where you don't qualify. We don't want to see that happen. So we want to talk about this now. So one of the strategies we can do, let's say you have a 3% and you've got significant equity in your house. What we want to do is look at, does it make sense to refinance to a higher interest rate? We're going to take that money and we're going to pay off your cars, your credit card debt, everything that you see on that list that you're paying out monthly. We're going to minimize your monthly overall cost. We want to get rid of all those. Now, your mortgage payment is going to go up, and your interest rate's going to go up. But let's say you owe, $1,500, you got $1,500 a month going out in credit cards and loan payments, and we trade up that 3% for a 7%, 6.5%. Maybe it makes sense to buy that interest rate down a little bit for depending on what your strategy is. But we'll take that money, and even if your payment goes up $500 on your mortgage, you've just eliminated $1,000. You're still up. The ninja move would be to take a look at what else you can do with that equity. So we pay off all your debt, and then maybe you want to invest that with one of the financial advisors that I can work with. I can pair you up with them. What they're doing right now and some of the strategies they're talking to their clients about, and I'm not a financial advisor, this is why I would pair you up, but what I'm being told is that there are vehicles out there that you can invest some money, that your equity into, that will give you a guaranteed rate of return. Commodities and energy are hot right now, and there are some great programs out there to put that money to work and help you through this. So what that looks like is just sitting down and, hearing your goals, just all cards on the table. And there's no shame. If you feel like you're the only one, everybody's feeling this. So there's no shame in that. But I'm here to help you come up with a solution and help you leverage that equity so you don't have to file for bankruptcy. You don't have to move, or maybe it does make sense for you to sell the house and rent for a little bit. So those are the things we want to discuss. But I wanted to go through this because this is what's being cycled in the news right now. A lot of doom and gloom. I see a lot of people do share these headlines, but they don't share a solution. And that's where I want to be helpful to you. So be aware of what's happening right now. We are heading into a pretty deep recession. The data is showing that this isn't going to be comfortable for anybody, and it's almost this exact same playbook. If you go back to 2006, what the Fed did just before 2008, we have some different variables in play right now, but I want to make sure that you understand what's happening so you can be protected and make it through this. So I'm in the trenches with you. If you have questions and you're kind of thinking about, hey, let's take a look at that, reach out to me and I would love to help you. And that's all I got for you today, but thanks for listening. And if you found this valuable, please share it with a friend and or a family member or just anybody. Share it on your social media, and would be appreciative of that. So talk to you guys soon, and thanks for watching. Bye.